Okay, let's talk about a simple secret to personal growth success. So you buy the running shoes, you download the language app, let's say Duolingo, okay? You want to start a business and you promise yourself
This is the year.
and maybe for a week or two, you are an absolute machine doing everything you said you wanted to do. Then maybe a brutal deadline is at work. Your child suddenly gets sick. And at this point, you're completely exhausted. And suddenly that motivation that you felt earlier on just, psh, it's gone. And now you started skipping days. You can't even remember the last time you did the thing you were so excited to start. We've all been there. And the worst part is that tiny voice in your head, the one that says,
See, you can stick to anything. You just don't have enough willpower to do it.
that cycle of starting, stopping, and then feeling guilty is one of the most draining things you can go through in life as a person because it makes you feel like you're just running in place, running in cycle. And it's a costly and emotionally draining way to spend your time. But here is the truth, and this can change everything for you. Willpower is not the key. In fact, if you are relying on willpower, you are probably setting yourself up for failure. Think of your willpower like your phone battery. Every single decision you make all day, what to wear, how to answer an email, what to eat for lunch, every single thing drains that battery. So by the end of a long day, when it's time to choose between collapsing on the couch or doing a 20-minute workout, your willpower battery is at 1%. And this is not a moral failing. It's just how we are wired as humans. Here is the secret, and it's the thing that separates people who make consistent progress in their personal growth from those who get stuck in that start and stop cycle. And it's not having more willpower. I mentioned that earlier. It is having better systems. And I always say successful people are not smarter. Like for real, they are not smarter than anyone else. They are just the most consistent people. And a system is how you win over and over and over again because it makes the right choice the easy choice. So you don't have to rely on that drained battery at the end of the day. You just rely on your system. So today we are going to build your personal growth system. And it's a simple four-step framework made for busy people, for people juggling a million things that turns consistency from a daily fight into an automatic reflex. Hi, if you're new here, I am Dupe. I'm a systems analyst, a mom of a toddler living in Canada, and here we design the life we want using the sustainable systems for your time, habits, and decisions. This is my first video on this channel, so welcome to Systems Based Life. And please help me grow by subscribing to this channel. Thank you so much. Now, before we build a system, we've got to lay the foundation, and that starts with a huge mental shift. And I want you to stop seeing your busy life as a roadblock and start seeing it as a signal of your value. There is this fascinating idea called the busy mindset. And research suggests that when you see yourself as being busy with valuable things, you start making better long term choices almost naturally. And it happens because feeling busy reinforces a sense of self importance and making you feel like your time is actually precious and it's a precious resource that shouldn't be wasted. So the first step isn't to find more time, it is to change how you think about the time you have. So when you feel overwhelmed, instead of saying, I'm too busy for my goals, I wanted to try this reframe. My plate is full because my time is valuable and I'm going to invest it wisely. Let's take that again. My plate is full because my time is valuable and I'm going to invest it wisely. See, this isn't just a word game, it primes your brain for the smart decisions we are about to build. Now, keep in mind, you are not a victim of your schedule, you are the manager of your time. Instead of trying to find motivation, you become the kind of person who just does the thing. Now, it moves that habit from a conscious, painful task to a subconscious, automatic part of who you are. And that is the core of consistency. And that means When an action stops feeling like a decision, it starts feeling more like you. All right, let's build the first part of your system. If you're juggling a ton, you're facing a constant flood of tasks. The problem is we are all hardwired to react to the most urgent things, not the most important things. So this puts us in a constant state of putting out fires instead of actually building our future. And the solution is prioritization. Step one of the system is the Eisenhower matrix. And here you'll be prioritizing ruthlessly. This tool helps you sort every single thing on your plate into one of four boxes. This isn't just for your job, it's a framework for your whole life. I said job because this is also being used in the business world. Now, imagine a big square divided into four quadrants. Quadrant one, the top left side is for urgent and important tasks. And these are your crises and your deadlines. Maybe a client emergency, a sick child, maybe a project is due tomorrow. The goal here is simple. Do this task immediately. Quadrant number two is the top right quadrant. And this is your not urgent but important task. And this is the magic quadrant, right? This is where your personal growth lives. Things like exercise, learning a new skill, planning your week, or maybe you want to spend quality time with family. Now, because these tasks are not actually screaming for your attention, they just happen to be the first things that we push aside. And your system's job is to protect these quadrants by all means. And the rule for this quadrant is to schedule any task that you want to do. Schedule it on your calendar. Like make it a non-negotiable appointment on your calendar. Block off time for it. Now let's move on to quadrant number three. And this one is the bottom left quadrant. These tasks are urgent but not actually important. These are the biggest productivity tasks, to be honest, because think of most emails, they are pointless. Meetings, someone asking for help, non critical stuff. Like they just demand for your attention, but nothing for your long term goals. And the rule here is to delegate these tasks if you may, because they're just wasting your time. Like ask yourself question, can someone else actually do this? Can you automate this task? If not, can you just say no to this task? They are the traps that makes you feel like you are being productive, but they just waste your time in the long run. Now, the last quadrant here is the one on the bottom right. And the tasks here are neither urgent nor important. And these are your time wasters, completely time wasters. You're doom scrolling on social media, watching shows you don't even like the things that just literally do not make sense, which we love to do, by the way, by saying we are whiling away time. The rule here is to delete it, get rid of these tasks. So at the end of each week or even each day, take about 10 minutes and map out your to-do list on this matrix. This simple act stops you from just reacting to whatever is yelling the loudest and forces you to be proactive about what actually matters to you. And at this point, you're creating a system that makes space for your growth by design, not by luck. If this is already starting to click for you, right? You're saying clock it. And you're tired of that start, stop cycle. Do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. We are all about building practical systems for real growth on this channel. And I would love to have you as part of this community. And also let me know in the comments, which of these quadrants do you honestly spend most of your time in right now? Okay, step number two of the system is the 10-10-10 rule. And this one just makes things clearer. Okay, so you've prioritized your task, but what about those in the moment decisions? The choice to select snooze when your alarm goes off, the choice to choose order takeout, to skip that tough conversation. You know, there's small choices when they are driven by how we feel. They can literally completely derail our long-term goals. This was developed by author Susie Welch, and it's a framework designed to pull you out of short-term emotion and give you instant perspective. It is a very simple. You just ask yourself to consider the consequences of a decision across three time frames. And that is 10 minutes from now, 10 months from now, and 10 years from now. Let's walk through an example. So you've had a brutal day. Your plan was to go for a run. You scheduled it in maybe quadrant two, obviously. But right now, all you want is pizza and you just want to Netflix and chill. So your brain is fighting you at this point. Now, before you give in, apply the 10-10-10 rule by asking yourself questions. So, question number one: how will I feel about this choice in 10 minutes? If I order pizza. So when you think about it, your response will most likely be, if I order pizza, I'll feel instant relief because it's easy and it's delicious. And if I go for a run, those first 10 minutes might suck. I'll be tired. So that 10 minutes battle, pizza wins. Question number two: how will I feel about this in 10 months? So if I consistently choose pizza over running in 10 months, I will be less healthy, I'll have low energy, and I will be disappointed in myself. But if I consistently choose to run, even when it's hard, in 10 months, I will be fitter, more resilient, and I will have built trust with myself. So the run is a clear winner. Now, the last question: how will I feel about this in 10 years? But the truth is, in 10 years, this single one choice doesn't matter, but a pattern of these choices will define my health, my discipline, and who I am as a person. And the person I want to be in 10 years is someone who honors their commitment. So, and if I'm being honest with myself, the run actually wins. So you see, this simple exercise forces you to slow down and get past your immediate feelings. It makes the right choice obvious by putting it in the context of the person you want to become in future. This isn't about shaming yourself for the choices you're making right now. It's about giving your future self a voice in the present moment. By the way, guys, I put this whole framework in a PDF worksheet you can use. So get the download link in the description. Now let's move on to step number three of this framework. The third layer of our system is maybe the most powerful for making consistency feel effortless. And the principle is very simple. Your environment is stronger than your willpower. So you have to design an environment where your good habits are easy and your bad habits are hard. See, we are all wired to take the path of least resistance. If it's easy, we want to do it. So your job is to make the path to your goals as smooth as possible. And this is all about reducing friction. This is something I learned from the book Atomic Habits by James Clear. So if you want to work out in the morning, lay out your gym clothes the night before. You want to put them right next to your bed. And just like that, you've just reduced the friction of having to find everything when you are half asleep in the morning. The same thing if you want to eat healthier, don't buy junk food in the first place. Choose a day for your meal prep. I do my like every Monday and I reset my meals every first Monday of the month. So when you're hungry and busy during the week, the healthy choice is now the easy choice because, well, you already prepped the healthy food like few days ago and you have them at your arm's length. If you want to read more, put a book on your pillow. Charge your phone in the kitchen so you are not picking your phone when you're supposed to be picking your book. This way, you are increasing the friction for the bad habits and decreasing the friction for the good one that you want to cultivate. I want you to know this: every habit has friction, and your goal is to become a friction designer. Say that after me: a friction designer. Put that to the comments. I want you to write that in the comments. I am a friction designer. Because if you think about this deeply, you will see that this process removes the need to make a decision and automates your behavior instead. You are no longer fighting yourself. Now your environment is the one nudging you toward where you want to go. Okay, step number four. Here is the key. No system is perfect right away. Life changes, priorities shift, and what worked last month might not work this month. So the final critical piece of this whole thing is a dedicated time to reflect and adjust. And this is your weekly review. This review and reflect event is actually what makes Agile Tech teams to consistently put out usable tech products for us, the users. They are always reviewing the status of their work and their products they are building, and then they reflect to take lessons so they can use that information to adjust in their next sprint cycle. And the same thing works in personal lives. This is the plan. Your weekly review is going to be a 15 to 30 minutes appointment with yourself that you schedule every single Sunday, like every Sunday. It is non negotiable. And during this time, you'll be asking yourself three simple questions, maybe more, but pretty much three simple questions. So, question number one: what worked this week? Now, the thought process here is, where did my system win? Did I stick to my workouts? Did using 10-10-10 help me make a better choice? And if you notice any wins, please, 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 you have to celebrate. No matter how small your wins are, it helps build momentum. So please make sure that you're celebrating your wins. So the second question is, what didn't work this week? And the thought process here is, where did the system break down? Did I keep ignoring a scheduled task? Why? Was it unrealistic? And here you have to be honest, because this is not about guilt. It's literally about gathering data. So you have to be honest with your responses. Now, the last question here is, what will I adjust for next week? So, based on your answers, you need to make small changes, small tweaks to your system. For instance, I used to work out first thing in the morning before. Then I quickly realized I get extremely tired after my workout, and that means I am unable to be productive for the rest of my morning. So now, after my weekly review, I decided to just change it to the last thing I do in my morning routine, and I have been consistent with my workouts ever since I made that tiny change. So for you, maybe that 1 hour long workout is too much right now. Fine, change it to 20 minutes. Your goal is not perfection, it is consistency and a system that doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to be consistent. So this weekly review ensures you are always learning, always improving, like the tech teams, while we are having better iPhones and better Samsung phones. And it also makes long-term consistency almost inevitable for personal growth. So I am not going to leave you just like that. Here is an action plan for you to do today. Set a recurring 30 minutes weekly appointment on for Sunday with yourself, and make sure you choose the best time for you. 7 p.m. works for me, and block that off on your Google Calendar. Let's bring everything all together. The secret to being consistent when you are juggling 1,000 things is to build a simple, personal, and adaptable system that works just for you. So you start with a mindset shift, seeing your busy life as a sign of your value. Then you use the Eisenhower matrix to prioritize what is truly important and schedule it. Then you move on to use the 10-10-10 rule to make clear choices in the moment. Then you reduce friction by designing an environment that makes good habits the easiest option to choose. And finally, you do a weekly review to help you reflect, adapt, and improve your system. Easy peasy. Now remember, this is not about being perfect. It's about having a system that gets you back on track, like automatically. Now, keep this in mind. You don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. That's a powerful one from James Clear, the author of Atomic Habits. Okay, if this video have been of any value to you, please hit that subscribe button and help this channel grow. My name is Dupe, and this is Systems Based Life. Thank you so much, guys, for watching, and I'm going to see you all in another one. Bye, guys.